I'm Seth Patton. I did 12 years in the United States Navy. Just recently got out last year. Um, was a machinist mate my entire time that I was in the Navy. Um, did everything from maintenance to water treatment to working on air conditioning units, hydraulic systems, weapon systems. Um, by the time that I got out, I was an E6, a first class petty officer. Just got picked up for chief, which was E7, but decided to move back to Chattanooga. My last job title was engineering department leading petty officer.
In the Navy, you don't just really have one job. It, you have to wear a lot of hats at a lot of times, especially by the end of my time in the Navy. So I was in charge of water treatment and water distribution, but I was also in charge of an entire engineering plant. So not just making water, keeping the engines turning, the lights on, um, keeping food cold, just stuff that you'd never even really think about. Um, because what I was saying before, like a ship's kind of like a small city, right? Everything that goes on in a town has to go on that ship for people to survive. And on the engineering side of it, just logistically, just not even being in charge of water treatment, but everything else that goes into keeping a town running.
What was it like to treat water on a Navy ship?
It was interesting. An interesting thing about it is water treatment anywhere else, you kind of go one place and you kind of work with the same water every day on a ship. It's a mobile city, right? So just you kind of treat water all over the planet, just depending on wherever you're at is the source water that you get, and got to make it safe for consumption.
Were there any unique challenges that you faced treating water at sea?
Yeah, the water pollution was extremely variable, especially when we'd start getting close to pulling into ports and stuff like that. You got to think that all those ships besides us are coming in and out, and anything that they discharge that we would go through, or anything that we'd accidentally discharge, we'd have to deal with it as it came back into the ship.
And how did your Navy experience prepare you for treating water here at Eastside?
Um, my job as a water treatment plant operator, the majority of it, it's a lot like watch standing in the Navy. Every hour, you've got to do certain things. You got to keep on top of it, and just doing that for over a decade, it was a pretty seamless transition coming over here to the plant.
How does water conservation on the ship compare to what you see here at Eastside?
Biggest thing that I've figured out is how much water people actually use. Um, just with a crew of 300 people, you were using multiple thousands of gallons of water a day. Um, and at Eastside, feeding multiple different towns, you kind of see that on an even larger scale. There's moments in time, especially during the summer, um,
That the service area is using millions of gallons of water an hour, and it's if you think about it on like that scale, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But
What kept you motivated and inspired during your service?
I just really enjoyed it. It was kind of like that whole Treasure Island, like romantic adventure. It certain jobs when they talk about join the Navy, see the world. Certain jobs you actually do that, and that was the job that I had, especially being on ships as much as I was. It was probably the best adventure somebody in their late teens, early 20s could do.
On this Veterans Day, what does it mean to you to have served your country and now your community?
um, it means a lot to me. I'm really happy that I was able to go from federal employment, doing what I did in the military, to coming out and providing back to the community again, the community that I grew up. Well, not exactly the community that I grew up in, but across the river. Um, and it's really fulfilling to step out of one role of service into another.
And is there a message you would like to share with your fellow veterans?
For the veterans that are still in, keep doing what you're doing. Everything that you've done in the military is going to be worth it, no matter how much or not as much it may seem that what you're doing at that moment in time may feel kind of worthless. If you're sweeping water out of the rain or something that seems kind of superfluous or kind of pointless, it all comes back to help you at the end of the day.
Is there a veteran that holds a special memory for you today?
7 years ago today, October 31st, 2017, good buddy of mine passed away, machinist mate first class, Evgeny Ushnertsev. It's a big problem in the United States about veteran and military members taking their own lives. There's 22 a day, is what the VA puts out, and he was sadly one of the 22 on October 31st, 2017. Good man. Miss him every day, and I think about him every Halloween.